It's that time of the year where you can really reward yourself with a bountiful handful of great games on sale, or if you absolutely have to, wrap them up, give them to someone else. However, most of the Game of the Year type of stuff doesn't come out until after a lot of these November Black Friday deals are already over. I've got you covered though, because I'm just going to do my Game of the Year video early, so you guys can snag some of the best games while they're discounted. I'm also going to be distributing some of my own awards to certain games as we go through this, so stick around. Now let's get into the deals. I'm Boomstick Alex, and these are the games that launched in 2023 that I recommend you grab for yourself or maybe someone else. First up, it snuck out early this year, but don't sleep on Long Fallen Dynasty. This ended up being a solid action RPG with a deep combat system, a really satisfying deflect mechanic, and plenty of min-max gear-obsessive character building. The steep but well-tuned difficulty makes every incremental improvement to your character feel like a giant relief, at least until the next boss comes around and stomps your chin into the mud. Ultimately, it was between this and Lies of P, but I'm plopping onto Long Fallen Dynasty's head the Best Souls-like of 2023 award. You can find this a few places on sale right now, costing about $37, and I recommend you give it a go if you skipped it earlier in the year. This next one is totally a hidden gem, Tchia. This is an oddly creative and memorable open-world game where you have the power to become pretty much any animal or thing around you. This is used in some interesting ways to navigate the open world, and it's also just a really fun tool to play around with. Name any other game in 2023 where you can become a rock, a shark, a juice bottle, a pallet, a cricket, and a dog. If you do, I'll give you a cookie. The style of this game is so jolly and easy on the eyes, I'm going to go ahead and grant Tchia Best Art Style of the Year. You can find Tchia on sale right now for about $23, and it's worth a try. Next up is the remake of Resident Evil 4. This has a good mix of action with survival horror, and the absolute best kicks that exist in the biz. I played the original on GameCube the year it came out, and this rekindled the vibe of going through that for the very first time, while adding plenty of new surprises and quality of life improvements. There was stiff competition with Alan Wake 2 and the Dead Space remake, but I'm awarding Resident Evil 4 as the best survival horror game of 2023. Right now you can find RE4 for $40, and you have to snag it if you haven't played it yet. Next, Final Fantasy XVI. Although 16 dips more into action game territory than RPG territory, it does the action phenomenally well. Multiple action game inspirations went into crafting the combat system, and it pays off, with plenty of intricacies and depth while still being accessible and instantly enjoyable. This also had the craziest, most over-the-top ridiculous boss battles of 2023, so let's go ahead and slap that award on it right now. Those fights really helped to push Final Fantasy XVI up into one of my personal favorites from the year. You can find this marked to $40 right now, down from its normal $70. Next is The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. This game just oozes creativity, master-level game design, and near infinite freedom. The ways you can easily slap and stick things together to build useful devices, vehicles, or horrible mechanical abominations shows a true respect to the player's intelligence and imagination. Tears of the Kingdom continually makes you question if your true calling in life was engineering all along, even though for most of us, it actually isn't. Fusing weird things to your weapons or your shield is a satisfying and often surprising mechanic, and the ability to rewind time on objects themselves is absolutely brilliant with its implementation. You can also use this as a physical animation tool that you can interact with in real time. Pretty cool. The freeform open structure of Tears of the Kingdom's main map, up above in the Sky Islands and down below in the creepy underworld region, make it very easy to award this Best Open World Game of the Year. Also, spoiling my own list right here in the middle of the video, Tears of the Kingdom is my overall Game of the Year winner at this point in time. I cherished my playthrough of this, and I wish I could erase my memory right now to play it again completely fresh. You can find Tears of the Kingdom on sale right now for $53, down from its original $70 price tag. If you're in the mood for something from the early PS4, Xbox One days, Like a Dragon Ishin is a remaster of a Yakuza spin-off game from 2014. The highlights here are the over-the-top brawler action, a well-told story, and great side content. It also has plenty of weirdness to it that Yakuza fans know is the true charm of the series. You can find this one on sale right now for about $30. Next up we have Marvel's Spider-Man 2. This one did a complete 180 on me. It starts out kind of samey to the last games, but give it time, and it tentacle splatters out into one of the most pure fun times you can have in a video game. Once Venom and the symbiote powers get introduced, the action gets going on all cylinders, and I'll gladly say that Spider-Man 2 is the best raw action game of 2023. Also, the intricacies of the animation system, how everything seamlessly flows together so well, nets it another award, the best animations of 2023. This is the only entry on this list where the game itself isn't discounted yet, but this PS5 bundle deal gets you Spider-Man 2 essentially free with the console's normal price, so that's the perfect pickup if you're looking into getting a PlayStation 5. Next is Fire Emblem Engage, not to be confused with Fire Emblem Engage. This brings in some new mechanics to the series, and as always, has addictive RPG-style team building. The story this time around isn't the main selling point, it's, the actual strategy combat gameplay. You can find Fire Emblem Engage marked down to about $35 right now. Next is Remnant 2, a sequel that does an even better job at grafting the Souls-like formula to a third-person shooter. Every role of the campaign is different each time, with level layouts changing and boss orders being shuffled, giving this huge replayability. I'm going to go ahead and give Remnant 2 the best shooter of 2023, and it's even better in co-op if you bring in some buddies. You can find this one on sale at a few places around $40. Next is Blasphemous 2, which I played months after it launched, but it blew me away when I finally got around to it. I prefer this over the first game because the sequel better balances a hard but fair challenge with far less artificial difficulty padding. Combat and platforming feel great, and the pacing of the Metroidvania-style progression is tuned just right. So since it does all that so well, I'm awarding Blasphemous 2 as Best 2D Game / Best Metroidvania of 2023. You can find this for just $20 right now digitally on the Switch, or physical copies on the other systems marked down just a little bit. Next is Star Wars Jedi Survivor. This action-adventure with some open-world elements provides some of the best modern lightsaber combat out there. There's a bit more platforming and light puzzle solving in this sequel as well. Oh, and it's not a question of if, you will spend an awkwardly high amount of time tweaking your lightsaber. I found Star Wars Jedi Survivor discounted to $35. Next up is Octopath Traveler 2. There's just something comforting about playing through a retro-style RPG. Who's with me? This sequel adds some new mechanics to the already addictive combat system and has a greater focus on adjusting the time of day, which can alter the character's abilities or some side quests. If you missed it, it's worth grabbing on sale right now, anywhere from $30 to $40 depending on the system. And the last, but definitely not the least, Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon. I went in as a complete newcomer to the series, and was astonished by how satisfying mech-on-mech action can actually be. Endlessly tinkering with my mech's loadout, trying all the crazy weapons, made for a very addictive gameplay loop. Giant cannons, napalm launchers, a chainsaw, mini laser drones, and huge beam swords make for the best weapon arsenal of 2023 in my opinion. The boss fights were definitely a highlight as well, and rivaled Final Fantasy XVI's. This is marked down just a tiny bit right now, but just check around online, maybe it's dropped by the time you're seeing this. Now let's not forget some of the best games of 2023 that just were not on sale when I made this. Baldur's Gate 3 is easily the deepest game on this list, and in single player or co-op, the year's best overall RPG. Hi-Fi Rush came out of nowhere and instantly created a die-hard fan base. This was a big contender for best art style and best animations as well. And then Metroid Prime Remastered shows how well this adventure has aged, and I'll gladly award it Best Remaster of 2023. Alright, which ones from this list have you guys already played, and which ones do you now plan on grabbing? If you already played every single game on this list, well, I don't know. Tell me a game to play that you didn't see highlighted here. You can hit me up with those over on Twitter at BoomstickAlex, or just down in the comments here. Thanks for checking this out today, and I'll see you again real soon.